Good evening. You're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, for TVS Nightline. We begin with this story. Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg announced that this year's Sumbangan Keperluan Asas Sarawak will be credited to eligible recipients before Hari Raya Aidilfitri. He states the aid is designed to help Sarawakians with their festive preparations, particularly in covering daily essentials for Syawal.
Saya akan melancarkan SKAS. Kita dah naikkan bantuan kita, bantuan dapur. Makin bayar SARAWAK. Duit masuk ke akaun kita SARAWAK, pasal kita beli beras, kita beli gula, wang dapur akan dibayar oleh kerajaan. Jadi kita tahulah dekat nak raya tu. Jadi kita akan melancarkannya dalam bulan Ramadan tu. Cek lahir akaun kita di SP adalah duit masuk dari kerajaan Sarawak untuk membantu hal dapur kita. Jadi bermakna dapur sentiasa ada asal.
This year, the Sarawak government has also increased SKAS payout rates to strengthen the state's social safety net. At the same time, Abang Johari emphasized that a growing and complete network of infrastructure, including bridges and roads, is making it easier for people to travel from one destination to another, especially during the festive season. He adds that people heading back to their hometowns no longer need to rely heavily on ferries, as almost all areas in Sarawak are now connected by roads and bridges.
Raya tu si banyak pengguna feri. Kalau kawasan Dago, Igan, termasuk di kawasan Betul dan Siaman, kita dah menyiap banyak jambatan. Maknanya kalau orang kerja di Kuching nak pergi ke Dago, siap ada lagi pakai feri terus ke Dago. Ke Mekah terus ke Mekah. Dan insya-Allah raya tahun baru semua dah connected. Makna tidak ada lagi kebimbangan untuk menemui kaum keluarga di kampung masing-masing. Alhamdulillah, untuk siada lagi dah uang panjang nunggu feri.
He states that the provision of a better road network, including the toll-free Pan-Borneo Highway project, provides comfort and convenience for the people.
A new 58-bed palliative care centre in Kuching is set to become Malaysia's first privately built medical facility that is partly dedicated to public healthcare. Sarawak Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Dr. Sim Kui Hian says the Health Ministry will take over the 35 of the 58 beds for public use, marking a groundbreaking public-private partnership in the country's healthcare system.
Next month, Kuching Life Care in SGH, the 58 beds palliative care hospital of Kuching Life Care, Ministry of Health will take out 30. How many beds will take out? 35. We'll take out 35 out of 58 beds, and we're making the first in the whole Malaysia in which private built facilities, and then the public use it. And no other, that's why I said, Sarawak can be a role model for the rest of the country, and it will be such a drastic difference from the current one.
According to Dr. Sim, it will be the first time in Malaysia that a privately built and owned medical facility allocates a major portion of its beds for public patients. He says the new centre, a joint partnership between Kuching Life Care and Sarawak General Hospital, will also represent a drastic upgrade compared with existing palliative care facilities. The 58-bed facility is expected to further strengthen end-of-life care services in Sarawak, while serving as a new model for healthcare infrastructure through public-private collaboration.
Sarawak's ruminant self-sufficiency has reached 17% as the state steadily drives toward its 25% target by 2030. Food Industry, Commodity and Regional Development Minister Dato' Sri Dr. Stephen Rundi Uttom says land expansion is being evaluated to boost cattle populations and regional food security, noting that success hinges on a sustainable feed supply.
We have 3,800 now, and some already provide, and then we are looking for. We still have problem. The system now there, ECDC is supposed to produce canned corned beef. They managed to only slaughter 2 per day. We visited India 2,500 per day, 1 kilo, and that Maharashtra 9 kilo. So can you imagine the gap of ability to produce? That means we are moving towards that.
To meet this need, a new livestock feed formula utilizing palm kernel cake and black soldier fly larvae will be produced in pellet form beginning in the second quarter of this year. In collaboration with SALCRA, the Sarawak Land Consolidation and Rehabilitation Authority, the state projects an annual production of 100,000 tons of feed pellets to support local demand. Meanwhile, Dr. Rundi says Sarawak is aiming to enhance the capacity of industry players within the deep-sea fishing sector. While Sarawak has the authority to issue deep-sea fishing licenses, he notes that operational management must be strengthened, as only the Sarawak Economic Development Corporation (SEDC) currently possesses the scale to execute these operations fully.
Satu, we saw when the landing of fish go issue to the mother ship somewhere, not all the way to Tanjung Manis down. So the player we have now, we don't have big enough the capacity. The crew also we don't have. Even the Bintulu Persatuan Nelayan asking whether we can get people from Vietnam to become the crew.
Constraints remain as local firms are prohibited from purchasing vessels from Vietnam, Thailand or China due to safety concerns. Dr. Rundi believes the establishment of the Sarawak Fisheries Department will bolster regulatory oversight and provide better support mechanism to revitalize the deep sea sector. The Malaysian government is bracing for immediate economic impacts as escalating tensions in the Middle East threaten to disrupt global trade routes. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim assures that despite the volatility, the government remains able to maintain the RON 95 petrol subsidy at RM1.99 per litre for now.
Jadi tentunya kita kerajaan akan ambil langkah-langkah pasti segera kerana kesan ekonomi kalau keadaan ini berlanjutan tidak dapat dielakkan. Ya. Kos barangan, kos import bagi syarikat-syarikat SMEs dan juga import umumnya barang makanan akan meningkat. Setakat ini, seperti mana saya umumkan, kita akan cuba kawal termasuk RON 95 sekadar RM1.99. Tetapi keadaan ini kita pantau kerana setakat ini kita masih boleh bertahan dalam 1-2 bulan. Tetapi petanda-petanda awal tidak begitu baik dan menyenangkan.
The Prime Minister highlights that over 200 vessels carrying oil and gas are currently stalled in the Strait of Hormuz, a critical logistical choke point. This disruption is expected to drive up transportation costs and inflate the price of imported goods nationwide, prompting the Finance Ministry to closely monitor global oil market trends. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim is hitting back at claims that the nation's top anti-corruption body has become a political weapon for the government. Responding to allegations from electoral reform group, the Coalition for Clean and Fair Elections or BERSEH, Anwar labelled the accusations as unfair and premature, insisting that criticism must be backed by official investigation reports rather than political sentiment.
Itu pandangan bersih lah, tapi tidak adil untuk bersih, tidak buat kenyataan yang bersih. Dia nak buat tuduhan, tengoklah laporan dulu, ya, bagi jawapan. Kalau tidak, kalau pakai sergah begitu saja, saya tidak pertahankan, tapi saya kata kita dah buat jatuh kuasa. Saya percaya kepada peguam negara. Ya, bagi laporan dulu. Ini belum demam laporan, kita tuduh kena ikut selera politik.
Speaking to reporters in Putrajaya, the Prime Minister stressed that while criticism of MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azambaki is permissible, it must remain consistent and fact-based. Anwar says the government has already established a special committee to probe allegations surrounding Azambaki's shareholding issues. The final report from the Attorney General is expected to be delivered by the end of the day. The war involving Iran has now entered its seventh day, spreading tensions across the Middle East and drawing reactions from countries far beyond the region. Israel has announced what it calls the next phase of its campaign, launching new strikes as fears grow of a wider regional conflict.
לאחר השלמת שלב מהלומת הפתיחה המפתיעה, בו יצרנו עליונות האווירית ודיכאנו את מערך הטילים הבליסטיים, כעת אנו עוברים לשלב הבא במערכה, בו נגביר את הפגיעה ביסודות המשטר וביכולותיו הצבאיות. בידינו מהלכים מפתיעים נוספים שאין בכוונתי לחשוף. נרדוף את אויבינו, את כולם, ונשיגם.
Israel struck Beirut's southern suburbs overnight, targeting what it says are Hezbollah targets. Lebanese authorities say at least 123 people have been killed since fighting spread into the country earlier this week, with more than 90,000 displaced. The conflict widened after Hezbollah entered the war to avenge the killing of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Meanwhile, the war is increasingly drawing in countries far beyond the immediate battlefield. Azerbaijan warned a drone strike on one of its airports would not go unanswered, but Iran denies responsibility and blames Israel. In Tehran, fresh strikes have left buildings damaged and vehicles burned. An Iranian state-run foundation says more than 1,200 people have been killed in U.S. and Israeli attacks. Iran's foreign minister says Tehran is not seeking a ceasefire and warned any ground invasion would be disastrous for its enemies. Missile exchanges between Iran and Israel continue, with explosions reported in Tel Aviv as Israeli air defenses intercepted incoming rockets. Missile and drone attacks are also ramping up in Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates. While most were intercepted, falling drone debris injured several people in Abu Dhabi. As the fighting spreads, fears are growing the war could draw even more countries into the conflict.
Indonesia is announcing that it will ban social media access for children under 16, citing threats from online pornography, cyberbullying, online fraud and internet addiction. Communications Minister Mutia Hafid says accounts belonging to children under 16 on high-risk platforms will start to be deactivated, beginning with YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, Beagle and Roblox.
Implementation will begin on March 28, 2026. The ban will be introduced in stages until all platforms fulfill their compliance obligations. According to Mutia, the government is stepping in so that parents no longer have to fight alone against the giants of the algorithm. She says the government understood the new regulation may cause some initial inconvenience for users in Indonesia, but they believe that this is the best step the government must take in the midst of a digital emergency. A European Union expert group began work this week on a similar social media ban for children after Australia in December required TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat and other sites to remove accounts held by under 16s. Brussels is keeping a close eye on how successful the Australian ban proves to be, with legal challenges already filed against it. France, along with Denmark, Greece and Spain, has been pushing for similar action at EU level, and India has been considering a teen social media ban of its own.
Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching and have a good night.